Hi, this is Jeremiah from Precision Dance Pads. I'm going to show you a lot of troubleshooting in case you have a problem, electrical problem with your dance pad. We have two different types of jacks we used. Our older pads had just an Ethernet cable with a connector. And the only repair you can do is check the control box. You'd unscrew your control box, see if any wires are loose, otherwise replace that. You get those for $3 at Home Depot. Not much you can do with these. But all our newer pads, and let me show one of the controllers. I don't have any of, all of ours are sealed up, but when you do, you get a box and it has this little UHID nano. Your wires are going to be soldered onto the front or back. You just pull them, don't pull too hard, as long as they're nice and snug and not loose, and they should be fine. Make sure your USB connection at the top of it is good. When you plug it in, there's a little LED that lights up over here, so that lets you know your computer ready. So if that all seems to work fine, then that's the first thing you need to check. If that works fine, then the problem is most likely going to be inside this jack. So to access the jack, we turn the pad upside down. There's tape around it, and this one's a little bit old. You can see the wires are exposed. I would replace that tape. So normally when it's new, you can get your tape off easier, and you can you peel it off. There should be a piece on top and on the bottom. You peel it off and try and save it so you can put it back on when you're done. This one needs to be replaced. So I'll put a new piece to show you how that's done. Anyways, we put it upside down, and we're going to open up this Kingston jack. You just got to pop it off. Just stick something in, and sometimes they're really hard to get off. Finally. So this is an older one. On our newer pads, we put slack in the wires, so there's going to be a loop. But if one of the buttons didn't work, like you can read our pinout. Light brown is select, brown is start, light blue is left, and then blue is down. Light orange is right, orange is up, and then both of these screens go to ground. So based on which wire isn't working, you can pull it up and push it through some more. You can use a screwdriver normally just to pop them off, and I have little tweezers here. So you can pull the wire up, and if you need to remount it, you just pull it through and push it down. There's little blades on the side of this jack that strip the insulation off. And if you have this tool, these are about $20. They press down the wire and they cut off the little piece that's hanging out. So it gives you a nice cut. Anyways, so if you have a button that's not working, like if your select button is not working, that's the light brown wire, go ahead and pull it up, feed it through, push it down, cut off the excess. And if it's still not working, everything man-made will fail, especially electronics. So you can buy another Cat 5 Keystone jack, and you got to follow the wiring. We use the 568B standard, so make sure you wire it up according to the standard different jacks have different wiring color codes. So if I wanted to, I could put all these wires on a new jack and then everything should work. So if there's a problem where one of the buttons doesn't work, it's possible you got to replace the jack. Sometimes little metal pieces can come out and they just don't make the good connection. So I think these are.
And if you need a replacement, you can always contact us and we can send you out a replacement right away. They don't cost, but maybe
these are all available at Home Depot.
Yeah, you can get it at Home Depot, but
$2-3, I believe.
But if you want the ones that we use for the pad, like when I buy them in bulk, I have no problem sending out one to you. Just give me a shout and
we'll
take care of that.
You could use a screwdriver to push one side down, and just the key thing is you got to get it as far down as you can, and then so then when you're done, go ahead and plug up the controller, connect it, flip it back over.
Can you do one more on this side?
Pull one out?
Pull one out, but keep your fingers out of the way.
I did the orange one already.
I did on this side.
Like this side, this side?
Yeah.
Alright, here's the select. Light brown.
And then try to keep your finger out of the way.
Okay.
Use tweezers or something.
That's what these are.
Alright. So see how he's putting it right back in there?
It's hard to, okay.
And then he says to push it down as far as you possibly can.
Well, yeah, once it's down there, the blade cuts it, and that's how you get your connection.
And then he uses like a punch down tool.
Yeah, just to cut off the extra. You don't have to use it. You can have little pieces hanging out.
Just gives it a clean cut.
Yeah, and then then you test it, test whatever buttons wasn't working before, make sure it works now. If it still doesn't work, let us know. And
we'll continue to troubleshoot and figure out if it's something further within the pad itself. However, we haven't had issues inside the pad, other than stickiness, which we've sort of solved that issue. But from time to time, depending on how pads are shipped, and the weather outside could also be a determination of
as soon as we get a new base that's better, I don't believe we will have any more problems with anything inside the pad.
We're doing everything we can to show you guys what to do to solve issues outside the pad.
Yeah, the wiring inside the pad is really indestructible. It's very, very, very unlikely that anything's gone wrong inside the pad. So I just cut a piece of tape and I'll cut along the edge.
Make sure you don't cut the wires.
Yeah, you gotta make sure you don't cut the wires. Normally I do it with the pad standing up. Alright, and this is important because it provides strain relief, so you're not tugging on the wires. Like if somebody tripped over the controller, pulled the controller or anything, you don't want any of the pressure on the wires. So I put a piece of tape on the back, and anyways, I do the same on the front. Just the same thing. This is to reseal it up. I'm not used to going upside down. And the orientation of these is the mouth facing down for all the pads except for the TX pads. Those are sticking up. It's kind of important because the controllers match up, and you want this to be flush with the bottom, so it's not being pressed up. But it'll just lay flatter that way. So, and it's pretty sturdy the way I've done it, where you can actually hold it by the head. So that provides adequate strain relief. This is pretty much the way to fix any of your electrical problems with your Omega GX pad, to get any of the buttons back to work if they don't work right now. And Another way you can test out, suppose the left arrow doesn't work, but everything else does. I could take the wire that was going to the left arrow, which is the
Light blue?
light orange.
Yeah. No, left.
No, this is blue. This is light blue.
Yes, you're right. I'm sorry.
Light orange. So I could take the light orange wire off, and then take the select, which is light brown, off, and then swap, and then put the light blue where select was, plug it back in, and then test it, see if I get any kind of indication on the game. That'll let you know that the jack has a problem. And
If the jack needs to be replaced.
Yeah, the jack needs to be replaced because where the light blue is connecting isn't working. So you could swap that piece out. It's pretty easy to do. It should only take you about 5 minutes. The whole process, taking it off, replacing all the wires, and putting it back on. Once you know what you're doing, it's not that hard. And that's it, Jeremiah, Precision Gems pads. Hopefully all your pads will last forever. Bye.